everybody, and if you're wondering why I'm standing up, it's because I'm too excited to sit still because I just finished Clockwork Prince and it was freaking amazing, so I have to talk about it. I read it, I finished it last night around 2 AM and I was like, oh god, it's so heartbreaking. It's not even, I don't know what to do. Of course, I started reading Clockwork Princess, Anywho, so let's talk about this book. I recommend that if you haven't read Clockwork Angel, you should probably, excuse me, I got water on my lip. If you haven't read Clockwork Angel, you should not watch this review. I will try to spoil as little as possible, and if I do spoil, I will tell you so you can mute and watch this anyway. But I will not be able to not spoil Clockwork Angel because, yeah, it's not possible to talk about the sequel if you can't talk about the book before. Let's get into this. It's, again, about Tessa, and she's in London, and all things ensue, and the last book we got, the cliffhanger thing at the end. Will said,
"Hey Magnus, you gotta help me, dude!"
And he's like,
"Oh, what's the problem?"
And in this book we found out the problem, and if you have watched my Clockwork Angel review, you see that I am distressed because I had to make an extra video in the video to say, I'm sorry, Will, because I do not understand how I could be so mean. Because chapter 7, and my heart broke. I am so on Will's side. I love him so much, and I understand now why everybody's like, Will Hartnell, because I'm like, Will Hartnell as well, so I do understand. And but I'm still on Gem's side, because Gem is a very, very awesome person as well. But if you should see from Tessa's point of view, with one guy feels like and with the other it's like then you probably love the first, if you know what I mean. Because when she's with Gem, she's like, oh Gem, you're so sweet, you're so but with Will, she's like, even though he has been mean as fuck to her, she's like, oh, he's so what? And that is a sign, mayhaps, that you should probably talk about your feelings. When we get to know stuff about Will, you get, sympathy for him, for everything, because it's not like a minor thing, If his parents had died or something, and he was a bitch about that, then that would be an explanation, but it would not be a good explanation. But this is a really good explanation. I can't even, God, Will, I love you. I still like Gem though. In this book, we have a lot of hot stuff. I really enjoyed those parts. I was like, but Tessa, come on, really?
What comes after? How does one make babies? Where does babies come from?
Oh yeah, they come from the stork. What do you think? You have to learn about stuff. Why hasn't anyone told Tessa what sex is? She is here with two extremely hot gentlemen, and she is probably going to do something with these two gentlemen, and someone should have told her. Aunt Harriet perhaps shouldn't, when you hit puberty, she should say, Tessa, did you know? Kind of like that, it doesn't have to be awkward, just tell the girl something, so she's not totally oblivious. Now I'm gonna talk about something else than sex. And I have a list here of characters, and I will go through them and, discuss. And first we have Will. And Will in this book he has a great character development. He goes from this, in the first book he's like this mean person who's rude to everyone and pushes everyone away. And in this book we see his wall kind of crumbling down, and we find out why he has been so mean and stuff like that, and that's really nice to find out because that made me be on his side. And one thing that's very funny is, how in Clockwork Angel Will's like, demon pox, demon pox, demon pox, a lot of jokes about demon pox, and it was like, oh, it doesn't exist, Will, stop saying demon pox. And in this book we find find out that demon pox do exist, and when Will finds out this is true, he starts singing, dancing a little song about demon pox, and that was so funny. I started laughing. Then we have Jem in this book. This is Jem on the cover. And Jem is half Chinese, half English, and he talks Chinese sometimes. And that's very interesting because I know Chinese. I know what he's saying when he says stuff to Tessa in Chinese, and he lies about what they mean. Like, thing he said,
你很漂亮.
that means you're very beautiful. And he said,
Well, it means your hair has come loose.
and I was like, Jem? You cannot fool me! And then he said,
我不像是虚拟.
I thought that was so cute that he said it in Chinese because as a Swedish person, or as a non-English speaker to begin with, when I go abroad, I have this thing I can do. If I don't want the person that I'm talking to know what I'm saying, if I talk to another person who knows my language, I can just switch languages so they won't hear me. And this is exactly what Jem is doing. Because he's like,
I want to tell her that I love her, but I don't want her to know that.
Anyway, I thought that was a funny detail that he spoke in Chinese because I think Chinese is very beautiful. And Jem is wonderful in this book. We can see a different side of him with the whole drug thing with Will, and I thought that was very interesting that he's not just this wonderful nice person all the time, he can actually be mad as well. That was pretty scary to see, so that was nice. Now we have Tessa. Tessa is witty, wonderful, and awesome, and I love how she's central to like every plan not like in Mortal Instruments when Claire just tags along. Tessa is actually the center of the plan, so she has to do a lot of stuff, and that's exciting to not just follow someone who observes, but follow the person in the middle. And I love Tessa. It's so heartbreaking, and I totally understand what she's going through, because I would not want to hurt either of those people. And Jem and Will is so sweet when he's, in the end. If you have read this, what do you think of the end? I think I actually cried, and I don't cry. I'm not a big crier when it comes to books. I think I have cried twice when I've read books. Once in Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows, and the other one in the end of Lord of the Rings, and the appendix when I read the story of Aragorn and Arwen when Aragorn dies. That was so fucking sad. But anyway, so this is the third book I have cried to, and because it was, I didn't want to turn the page because I didn't want to experience that heartbreak, but I didn't know. I wanted to know what happened, but guys, I don't even know what to say, so let's move on. And then we have Charlotte and Henry. I love Charlotte and Henry. Charlotte is such a badass. I just love her so much. And her love story with Henry, and how they're both like, what? And it turns out that they both love each other so much. And that's so sweet, and I love how that ends with them. And Charlotte with the... Let's talk about Jessamine. That little bitch. I can't believe what she just did. No way. How can you break someone? Okay, this I cannot discuss without spoiling, so when I do this again, then the spoiling will be over. Okay. So, Jessamine betrayed you bastard! You betrayed them! With the Nate! How can she be so incredibly stupid? I thought she was stupid in the first book, but in this book, she's freaking... How can she do that? How can anyone do that to someone they have been raised by, practically? I don't understand. Okay, I don't understand. So yeah, that was the spoil about Jessamine, and the non-spoiler part, I will just say she's a bitch, and I hate her, and I hope she will face a grim fate. That's all. Yeah, I will leave it at that. And then in this book we have Gideon and Sophie, which I freaking love them. I love when Gideon talks in Spanish, when Sophie fails and stuff, and I love Sophie. She's so sweet, but she has a pretty messed up mind, like Tessa in the first book, when she's like, "Ah, girls can't fight," but Sophie's like,
Oh, I'm a servant.
it's like, yeah, oh, that doesn't matter, Sophie. It doesn't matter, you're a servant. So much shit went down in this book. So I don't really know how they will end up all of the things in Clockwork Princess. So I really want to read it just now, but I can't because I have exam week and I have to do my exams and that sucks. But anyway, this book was really good. It was like until they came to York, which is like 3rd chapter or something, I don't know. You know, in the beginning of the book it was like a climb to get stuff because it was slow in the beginning, but once you get up there it's like straight down roller coaster. And when I say down, I don't mean it went badly, I mean it went like, oh my god! I do really recommend this book, and as I said in my City of Glass review, if you have read this, then I do not understand if you don't want to pick this up, because this, you have to read this right after, otherwise you have some kind of self-control that I don't, and I applaud you for that. But you should really read this book because it's awesome. And this is, I can safely say now, is one of my favorite series. I have to do one favorite top 10 series list or something, because, and this is definitely on there. It's so amazing. I hope it ends well, because if it doesn't, I will probably still love the series, but if they kill someone that I love, then I will. And this book is like a 2-week period, so that's pretty amazing, because a lot of shit goes down in 2 weeks. I think I have rambled a lot. I love that Magnus is in this book a lot, because I love Magnus and he's very awesome, and I love, this is kind of spoilery, but not, you can mute if you want to, but it's not that spoilery. When Will was like laying on the couch with Magnus because he was asleep, and Camille came, and Magnus kissed Will. It was so funny, and Will was like, and then when they went out of there, he was like, "Did you just kiss me?" And he was like, "No. No, I didn't." And I just found that so funny. I was like laughing out loud. That was really funny. And another funny thing was when Will was like overjoyed by the demon pox, and he was like grabbing a newspaper and slapping it on Jem's head, and it's like, oh god. I love when Will is, you know, eccentric and happy. That's my favorite moments. Yes, but Clockwork Prince, read it if you want nice books to read. I do not know how I can have lived without this series for so long, and I will certainly reread it a lot of times, and because it's amazing, really. But I hope you enjoyed that. I don't think I can call a review more than like a ramble about a book. So I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, please thumbs up, and you know, why not? This book was amazing, and if you have read it, tell me below what you thought of it, because I personally thought it was amazing, so yes. Yeah, I'll see you next time with Clockwork Princess, the book I am reading right now. I have read 1 chapter, and it will probably go by very quickly, because it's amazing so far. And see you next time. Bye bye.